I thought it was very informative and instructional, entertaining as well.
They had better come see it. It's great.
It's an excellent presentation of all aspects of falling.
I thought it was wondrous for all of us, and it can help us to stay alive longer too.
Oh, it was just wonderful. As you get older, you know, you have falls and you can think about what you're going to do, and this prepares you for that.
Very informative on how to safely fall.
Oh, definitely. Get information for this because everyone goes through this sometime or another. Whether you trip over your kids' toys or going downstairs.
I thought it was very instructive. I learned a lot of ways how to fall.
And how to recover once you're down.
Because I was taking care of my 96-year-old mother and didn't know how to get her up. I volunteered for a hospice. We weren't allowed to help anybody up because we didn't have the right techniques and we were told not to. So this has been great.
I think it'd be a good investment in protection for themselves and loved ones to be aware of fall prevention as well as how to handle a fall. Very, very well done.
When I started this, my balance was very, very poor. I was in danger all the time of falling and occasionally did. And now I'm strong and I'm in good balance and I walk every day and I have a good time in life because I'm not thinking about dying, I'm thinking more about living and enjoying it. Well, the results I've achieved is a great, massive improvement in my balance. My strength is stronger, especially my legs and arms, so that I don't fall because I'm strong enough to recover when I do have problems. And I'm now much more relaxed because I don't have to worry about falling, and my arms are stronger so that if I should fall, I can get up now and I won't have any trouble doing it. I learned a lot about my physical structure, which muscles I need to use, which muscles I need to exercise regularly. And I also learned how to fall safely. I learned how to get up with help or without help. In almost any place I don't worry about it anymore because I know I can get up. That's because I've learned how to do it and because I'm stronger. And I have a really good time exercising. I look forward to it because it's a fun time. Not a straight face, but it's serious and it solved my problem. You could really prolong your life and feel good while you're doing it because it gives you a lot of confidence that you know what to do. Get off your rear end and get with it because it's really worth it. I exercise all together, both at home and here in the gym, about an hour a day, plus I walk some, and I get all the other 22 and some hours to be well and happy and enjoying life.
Hello, my name is Tim Rabatoy. I'm a strength and conditioning specialist and the creator of the Falling Solution System. I'll be your host today. This is the most complete resource on falling skills, fall recovery techniques, and fall prevention exercise and conditioning available anywhere in the world. I'd like to welcome you to the Falling Solution System. Welcome to Section 3, How to Help Someone Else Recover from a Fall or Get Off the Floor. In this part of the section, I'll give you a checklist of things to do if someone else has fallen down, what to do to help them get back off the floor, and then I'll finish this part of the section with one technique that I've used over the years in physical therapy to get people much larger than me off the ground. Now, if someone else has fallen, the main thing you want to remember is simply what you would do for yourself if you fell. Things that we've already talked about, like waiting 15 to 20 seconds, let your heart rate come down, checking yourself for injuries, rolling onto your knees, moving towards an object to get yourself off the floor, things like that. But the following is 6 steps to use if someone else has fallen down. Step 1, if someone else has fallen, the first thing you want to do is to ask them if they're hurt. Step 2, if the person doesn't know if they're hurt or if there's any question, try to take them through the same post-fall injury checklist that we went over in the last section. Statistic I was telling you, 47% of older adults can't get off the floor by themselves if they've been injured after a fall. So if the person has been badly hurt, or if it looks like it'll be dangerous to get them back up on their feet, don't do it. Try to keep them down on the ground, and if you can, call for an emergency service to come help you. Step 3, if the person is not badly hurt, the next thing to do is to locate something in the environment that you think will be best to help get them off the floor. So for instance, if you can find a steady chair, bring it over if you can. Step 4, once you've established what you're going to use to help get the person off the floor, the next thing you need to do is to get them to move towards it. So what you want to do is have them roll onto their hands and knees if they can, and if they can't, have them get into a position where they can scoot in the direction you want them to go. Step 5, let's say you're using a chair to help get the person off the floor. What you want to do now is describe or even demonstrate the technique that they should use to get off the ground, and then walk them through it step by step. Step 6, if you're going to physically help the person, make sure they're doing as much of the work as they possibly can. The last thing you want is to get injured helping someone else get off the floor, then both of you might be stuck on the floor. So what you want to try to remember is A, make sure the person's working as hard as they can, and if you're going to put your hands on them, for instance, if you're helping them get back into a chair, where you want to put your hands is not underneath the shoulders. What you want to do is put your hands on the belt at the back of the pants, or if they don't have a belt, put your hands on the pants at the belt line, and then making them do as much as they can, just apply force in the direction that they're trying to go. Now, this next technique is absolutely not for everybody, but it's the best technique there is if you're all by yourself to help someone off the floor in an emergency situation. The following technique is a technique I've used over the years in physical therapy to get people more than twice my size off the ground. Welcome to part 4 of Fall Recovery Techniques, 11 falling scenarios, how to recover from a fall in any situation, and how to use your environment to help you. As we talked about in section 3, no matter what environment you fall in, if you fall down hard on your own and you can't get back up, your next step depends on whether or not you're badly injured. Remember that if you can't get back up after a fall and you feel like you need medical help right away, then if you can move, your first concern should be to use your available energy moving towards a telephone to call for help or to the best place that you can alert someone to your situation. For situations where you're not badly injured, but you can't get back up on your own, even with all the techniques you learned in part 2, there's usually something in your environment that you can use to help you. In a fall recovery emergency where you need to get back up, anything in your environment that can give you even the slightest advantage to get you back on your feet is worth knowing about and trying. I developed these techniques after working with hundreds of people in fall recovery who have extreme difficulty getting back up by themselves, with everything from muscle weakness to neuropathy, from advanced Parkinson's disease to strokes. This part of the section will show you how to use every advantage available to you to get yourself back up no matter where you fall. In 2 back-to-back demonstration galleries, we'll look at how to recover after a fall in 11 different indoor and outdoor falling situations. And for each situation, we'll examine the available options that you can use to help you recover, and I'll show you how to recover with each one using the techniques that you learned on the chair and the wall in part 1 of this section. As you learned in the last section, just as a reminder, no matter what environment you fall in, remember to take a minute after a fall to let your heart rate come down and to establish your injury status before you try to get back up. If you're not badly hurt, but you can't get back up on your own, take a look around to see what you can use to help you recover. If there was a good thing about falling indoors, it would be that you usually have access to a phone and you almost always have access to stable objects to help get yourself back up, like chairs, couches, walls, and tables. Up next, we'll look at 4 indoor falling scenarios. We'll examine each situation to find the best options to help get yourself back up, and we'll quickly go through a list of techniques to use with each one. For step-by-step instructions on all the individual fall recovery techniques, make sure to re-watch part 1 of this section. if you've fallen outdoors and you can't get back up, it may not seem like it at first, and you may have to move a little further on the ground than indoors, but there's usually several things close by that you can use to help get yourself back up. I've worked with several people over the years who've fallen down outside and couldn't get back up on their own, and with the techniques they learned in this system, have been able to use garage doors, stairs, fences, walls, cars, and even trees to get themselves back up in an emergency. Up next, I'll show you 7 outdoor falling scenarios. We'll quickly go through the best fall recovery options for each one and a list of techniques for each option. Once again, for step-by-step instructions on all the individual fall recovery techniques, make sure to rewatch part 1 of this section. Welcome to part 5 of Fall Recovery Techniques, How to Practice Fall Recovery. Now that you've seen several of the different techniques for fall recovery and how to use them in an emergency, the only way to know which ones will work best for you is to get down on the floor and practice if you can. By practicing some of the skills and techniques that you've seen, you'll find out which ones you can do best, and it'll make it much more likely that you'll be able to do the same thing to get yourself back up in an emergency situation. In my falling solution seminars and workshops, I demonstrate and discuss how to practice fall recovery using drills and combination exercises like the one you'll see next. The following drill is a great way to practice fall recovery, and in one series it takes you through standing up, getting down to the floor safely, rolling onto your knees, moving to a chair, and then getting back up by using one of the fall recovery techniques you've learned in this section. Using the same drill, try practicing some of the other chair techniques if you can, but also make sure to try some of the techniques using the wall as well as some of the non-assisted techniques you learned in part 2. Use a chair to get down if necessary, put some pads around the area if you need to, and make sure to keep a chair nearby for safety while you practice your other techniques.